Secret Wars is undoubtedly one of the most significant events in Marvel Comics history, so much so that it's actually had two separate adaptations to the big screen, with a third reportedly on the way. But unlike the movies, the comics are absolutely massive, encompassing not only an insane amount of tie-in issues, but also a multitude of spin-off series and one-shots that all expand upon the main storyline. Today, though, we're going to try and keep things simple. We're going to attempt to distill this monumental event down to just the main story, ignoring all the tie-ins and one-shots unless they are absolutely essential to the plot. And even still, we'll be flying through things here, so if there's anything you think we missed or you want to talk about more in depth, let us know in the comments below. And while you do that, let's jump into the Secret Wars timeline. Years before the events of Secret Wars, the Beyonder, who is basically like a god, decides that he wants to have some fun. The specifics of his plan are never really revealed, but it involves him collecting various heroes and villains from across the multiverse, bringing them to a planet called Battleworld and then destroying it. Unfortunately for the Beyonder, Doom witnesses his evil plan and threatens to destroy him unless he changes it. Doom rewrites reality so that the Beyonder will be worshipped as a god, and then he gives all the other heroes and villains their own unique abilities and powers based off of their greatest desires. For example, he gave Spider-Man the ability to increase his strength by tapping into the fears of others, which he quickly uses to take out the Human Torch. But unfortunately for our heroes, it soon becomes apparent that the Beyonder has manipulated them all into doing his bidding. He essentially created a new universe in his own image where he could play God, and now he's gathering up all of its heroes and villains to serve as the players in his game. Thor, who was given control over the weather during this rewriting of reality, initially tries to stop the heroes from fighting each other, but when he gets possessed by the Beyonder, he ends up killing the Hulk. Now, heroes and villains from both sides start dying left and right, but eventually it all comes to a head when Dr. Doom confronts the Beyonder himself. The Beyonder absorbs Doom's powers and rewrites reality again, except this time he does it without consulting Doom first. So now everyone regains their old powers and they all team up to take down the Beyonder once and for all. They almost do too, until Reed Richards steps in and convinces them not to kill the Beyonder. Instead, Reed brings the Beyonder back to his own universe to try and teach him about compassion and empathy. But it doesn't really work, and the Beyonder destroys the entire universe in a fit of rage. Fortunately, Reed is able to absorb his powers and bring everyone back home. The Beyonder apparently finds peace in death, and all the heroes return to their respective universes, which are now united together as a single universe. Dr. Doom is also brought back to life and becomes the ruler of Latveria. But he's pretty upset that Reed stole the Beyonder's powers, and he's even more mad when Reed makes fun of him for dying. So he attacks him, but Reed counters by absorbing him at the molecular level and encasing him in a block of plastic. This might seem like a pretty petty thing to end the series on, but trust me, this is nothing compared to what's about to come. The Fantastic Four have just arrived at the ruins of the Baxter Building to find that it has been destroyed and Johnny Storm is missing. They call in Spider-Man to help with the investigation, and they track down the culprit to be none other than the Mole Man. But while they fight, they get interrupted by the arrival of a mysterious alien named Silver Surfer. He tells them that the destruction of Earth is imminent and that he's here to warn them. Reed immediately deduces that Silver Surfer has been sent by Galactus, the being who recently devoured their planet, and he tells the group that they need to leave immediately if they want to survive. So Reed projects a force field around the four of them, and they take a trip into space. Upon arrival at the planet Zen-La, Reed and Ben Grimm decide to stay behind while Sue and Johnny go with the Silver Surfer to look for Galactus. When they arrive at Galactus's location, they find out that he's actually already dead. His body is floating through space, and the Silver Surfer reveals that he was murdered. Suddenly, Galactus's herald, the Silver Surfer, crashes into the planet's atmosphere, and he tells them that he's there to surrender. although the true mastermind behind it all, the being known as the Maker, tricks the FF into helping him rebuild the planet. While this is going on, Doom and the Maker show up to confront the FF and reveal that they've been working together this whole time. Doom was actually hired by the Maker to ensure that Galactus died, and once his work was done, the Maker betrayed him and took over his role as the new Devourer of Worlds. With no other choice, the FF use a device called a uni-power converter to drain the energy from the Maker and send him back to his own time. From there, the Fantastic Four decide to return home. But when they get back, they find that everything has been destroyed and there's not a single soul anywhere to be found. It turns out that the Molecule Man had used his powers to completely reshape the Earth, turning it into a spherical shape and dehydrating the oceans. He did this because he wanted to make Earth into a new home for the people of his own dying planet, but he accidentally killed everyone in the process. In order to undo the damage, Reed shrinks himself down to an atomic level and enters the core of the planet. While he's gone, the rest of the team mourns the loss of everything they've ever known and loved. But thankfully, Reed is able to reverse the process and save the day. The story ends with them returning to their old lives, although Reed is still haunted by visions of an alternate future where the world is destroyed. It's later revealed that the Maker was actually the evil counterpart of Reed Richards from an alternate universe known as Earth-13. He was brought to Battleworld after Reed warned the Beyonder about him, which pissed off the Beyonder and caused him to rewrite reality. Now, it just so happens that in this new reality, Reed is the evil one, and he becomes the new leader of the Illuminati. The Illuminati had previously come up with a plan to escape Battleworld should it ever become necessary. And now that it has, Reed puts the plan into action. He leads a team of heroes and villains into the heart of Battleworld to search for the Beyonder's base of operations. Once inside, they discover a machine that will allow them to travel between different universes. Reed, however, decides to sabotage it, ensuring that no one can follow him to his universe. As he escapes, he runs into his evil counterpart and they fight. Reed is ultimately victorious, but he decides to spare the Maker's life and send him back to his universe instead of killing him. If you've been keeping track, you'll know that we're now several universes removed from the original Marvel Universe, aka the 616 universe. And this is by design. What the Beyonder did in his quest to have some fun was essentially merge multiple universes together to form a single pocket universe known as Battleworld. Reed Richards figured out that the only way to restore everyone's powers was to tap into the Beyonder's cosmic power and redistribute it among everyone in the new universe. He and Dr. Doom ended up fighting over this power, and Doom came out on top, which is why he became so powerful in the Ultimate Fantastic Four series. In the main continuity, though, Reed was able to restore everyone's powers and he changed the makeup of the universe so that it would be more stable. This is how the original Marvel Universe came to be, setting the stage for Secret Wars 2, which we covered in a previous video. And if you haven't seen that one yet, I highly recommend checking it out next.